Michael Narcissus Nest. Today's going to be a bunch of different subjects all mixed into one. So where I'm going to begin is everything that happened in my life up until now, for me personally, I needed it. All the bullshit, stupid things that I've done, all the idiots that I've listened to in my life, I needed all this to get me where I'm at. So I'm not mad at anybody. I don't hold a grudge against anyone, even my own mother, who I would make a list forever. She was fucked up when she was a kid. That's why the way she is. So blaming, pointing the finger, crying about past stuff, that's not going to get you anywhere. So you got to look forward in life, right? But you do have to look back at things so you don't make the same mistakes and you figure out your problems and you can move forward from them. That's key. So me growing up, I was always really good athlete physically. My dad, hockey guy, won NCAA championships, did all kinds of crazy stuff. My grandfather played football. Both of them were hardcore guys. If it was nowadays when they played the sports that they played, they'd be millionaires. But back then, you didn't get paid for sports like that. It was looked at as like a second-class job. So I was built for athleticism. I've always been really good at sports, working out. I'm 42, I look pretty good still. I'm actually the best right now that I've ever been in my life, physically and mentally. But when you're a child and you're growing up, the only people around you and the people that are important to you are your parents and your family. And you need that positive affirmation from your parents. You need that positive validation. It's important. It gives you backing it helps you build. So you get a little good at something and then you start to get good at something. Your mom's like, oh, you're starting to get good. And then you start to get better and your mom's like, hey, you're starting to get better. You got this. You're looking good. And then you start to get good and your mom's like, you're getting good now, kid, man. Keep on going. You got this. See, I never had that. My dad was pretty good, but he worked a lot, and so I got that from my dad. That's half the reason why I'm the man that I am. But really important for men and women is to get that from your mother. And my whole life, I never got that. So what these narcissists and what these people do is, first of all, they're unsure themselves. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. All the advice that they give you and all this shit, it's a bunch of bullshit. Horrible advice. And when they do give you advice, narcissists and people who are so self-centered, that advice and information is what's going to be best for them. And I know it sounds fucking crazy, but that's how it works. And that's how my mom's been my whole life. It always comes down to what's going to really be good for her, not what's good for me. I'll make a different video about how important it is to let a child from 2 to 10 years old find their own self, their own likes, their own wants, their own needs, so they can build up as their own individual person. So my whole life, I was chasing my mom to say that she's proud of me, she's happy in me, you did a good job. I never got that my whole life. I've always had such a positive, so the reason why I have high self-confidence and I'm positive in my life is because I've had a lot of successes. So from my mother or other friends that I picked because of me being growing up in the way that I did, I never got any of that good, positive stuff from friendships and relationships like I was supposed to. I've looked for people that what I was used to, my mother. So I got lucky because I'm really athletic and I shined. I played all kinds of all-star teams and traveled. I used to have trophy cases. And because of all those wins, my self-confidence got pumped up. And because of I always did good with women because I always was never scared to try, and I met and dealt with a lot of different women in my life. So I was always good at that. But one thing that I didn't excel at when I was younger is school and intelligence. And the reason that is because my mother always knocked me down. One example I gave already about how it's important for a kid when he's trying to do something or trying something new, is even if they fail, it's good that they fail. They're going to learn from their mistakes, and getting back up is the important part about life. You take the hits and you get back up because you know you're going to get through it. You know it's going to be okay. I never really got that, especially when it comes to school. My mom used this ADD bullshit on me, so she gave me a crutch and a way out. Instead of saying, "Oh, C's, you're a B student at the minimum, an A student. You got to fix this out, dude. You got this." I never got anything like that. So, my whole life, I chased other people's. I didn't do it so much as outside people, friends, and outside in society. I didn't do that as much because, like I said, I had a lot of wins and successes, and I never chased after people like that. But what I did do it is with women. So I was bred into chasing women's approval of me. So my whole life, basically, I've been chasing women's approval because of the way that I was raised. I always wanted to shine and do good for my mom, and I never got it. They always moved the goalpost on you. It's, if you get here, I'll love you. Oh, you didn't? No. I said over here, I'll love you if you get here. So I'm chasing hoops and hoops. And so I went and looked for women that did the same exact thing. So that's one thing that made me really turn around my life. And I cut out, I've never based decisions solely on other people, but I really pushed I gather up a lot of facts and information before I make any move or any decision. But I do it in a good timing, and then I go and I make my decision, and that's it. But so because of me always chasing women's approval in situations like that, I chased narcissistic women, all right, that never were good for me. But the thing about narcissistic people is that they have trouble realizing this and seeing this. And a lot of them are fucking dickheads and they give up on the whole thing, right? So it's an individual case. Like, my marriage, huge failure, right? But it was destined to be failure. I knew from the beginning that it was going to be failure, but I wasn't in the place in my life. I wasn't there during, like, the whole marriage and whole relationship thing. I wasn't there. I wasn't ready. I couldn't move forward in my life until I realized what the fuck was going on. Like, I've always been a happy-go-lucky person, and I've been successful in a lot of things that I've tried. Sports, my career. So my life wasn't bad. It's just not nearly as good as it's going to be and what it is now. So I didn't have to dig deep. Like, I was spoiled, only child. I've had 5 properties. When I went back to school, I killed school. My career shot off to the moon. So I never had to dig and really find out why I went for these types of women and what was going on with me, because overall, my life wasn't that bad. I had a lot of successes. But after my last marriage, relationship, it fell apart. Then I really tried to have to figure out, like, why the fuck do I chase these type of people, right? But during my marriage and during my whole life, I wasn't a man. Like, I don't consider that what I was, a man in any shape or form. So I can't be mad at any decisions that was made or anything that happened in my marriage because it wasn't me. Like, I didn't know what I wanted. I wasn't ready to really take it to the place that I had to take it as a man. Because I was always looking for my mom's, I always forget the word that I want, validation. I'm always looking for my mom's validation, right? And I never got it. So and whenever I would shoot for a new idea, she would always say, play safe, or you're not gonna do this, or you can't do this. So I was deep down scared to push it to where I wanted to go and where I knew that I should be. I knew that I could take it to a place, but I was scared deep down subconsciously to take it there. So the whole time that I was married for 10 years, that wasn't me. I wasn't a man. I didn't have any expectations of life. I just was going through life as I was just going through the motions. Getting drunk all the time, using substances, like all of that shit I was self-sabotaging myself. Using substances and drinking on the weekends like I was and doing all the stuff that I was doing was self-sabotage So it would give me an excuse where not taking my life where I think I should be and do the things that I want to do. I never would take it there because I used alcohol to dumb myself down and give myself excuses. So one big thing about my marriage that's sad about the whole situation is my ex-wife is the same exact way. She's fucking way worse though. So she could be a superstar at work. So one reason why I stayed in my marriage as long as 10 years I stayed in a crazy fucking marriage. One of the reasons why I stayed in that marriage is because I had hopes for my ex-wife. She's really smart in her career. She could do so many other things, right? But she does the same exact thing that I do. She self-sabotages herself on the weekends and all of her bullshit because she's scared to fail. So she could take it to a whole... So at the end of my marriage, I really started to straighten out and try to figure out... And once I took my career to a level and I started to make big money, I really started to get self-confidence. But I couldn't build a sturdy life for myself because it doesn't matter how good I put myself into shape. I got a fucking drunk motherfucker that's causing a bunch of trouble and problems all the time. So every time that I got up to a level where I wanted to be and things were going good and then the marriage was starting to go good and we were starting to lock things down and be successful, she would sabotage it, right? Or I would sabotage it and it'd be a fucking mess. Two fucking people sabotaging a fucking situation. So it's fucking impossible. So that's one of the huge things is that another reason why I stayed in my marriage for so long is my ex-wife and I have a lot in common. She's the scapegoat in her family. Her sister, her mom, everyone always makes her the scapegoat. When she was a child growing up, she was a scapegoat. I was the scapegoat for my mom and all her fuck-ups. My dad left my mom straight for life. All she had to do was buy a property. Her Social Security would pay her friggin' her taxes. She'd have her own huge house, and instead, she's my fucking dependent for life. So it's just nuts. So that's the name of the game. Is you work. So you work when you have to work. You do what you got to do. So when you get older, you don't have to worry about this stuff, and you're stable. So I'm not gonna be that fucking person. I'd rather die, all right, than lose that game. And that game is stability. And that's my whole new thing, and I'm fixing it this fucking year. I'm gonna die trying it. Is I'm gonna make myself stable for the rest of my life. I'm gonna put into motion what I need for the rest of my life. I'm gonna do some crazy shit with my career, right? But it's not about the money. It's not about the flashy things. I don't give a fuck about that. It's about lifetime stability for me and my loved ones. That's it. That's what I'm doing, and I'd fucking rather die than fail. So that's a main thing that people don't realize is when you're doing these crazy things, look at why you're doing these things, especially if you're smart and talented and you have a lot of good things going for you. Why are you drinking heavy on the weekends? Why are you making these mistakes? Why are you doing this shit? Really start to self-evaluate yourself for real. Don't fuck around. You're self-sabotaging yourself. So after my marriage ended, I didn't go run. That's when I really started to realize what the fuck was going on. I didn't go run into some new relationship, crash my head, do some new bullshit. I stopped and said, this is fucking enough, man. You got a lot of things going for you and you're fucking up your life. What the fuck are you doing? You got so much potential, but you're fucking it up. So I really made a decision to figure out what was going on. That's when I realized about narcissistic personalities and all kinds of different psychology shit. I've been friggin' I'm a goddamn psychologist. It's nuts. I watch so many different videos and so many different things, and I'm a non-stop non-fiction guy. Every day, day after day, I'm gonna talk about that in a different video on how I'm mentally, spiritually, and physically trying to be a warrior, man. Drop of a fucking dime. I'm gonna handle my business. So that's one of the main things I want to talk about in the video is self-sabotaging yourself and how I don't blame anyone or anything for my marriage or what the fuck happened. I wasn't a man. I wasn't even close to right now I'm not nearly as close as what I'm gonna be, but I'm a whole different fucking thing than I was, and I know where I wanna go and I know exactly what I want. It's just getting there now. Before I didn't even know what the fuck I wanted, just was cruising through friggin' life. And that's no way to live. If I could have learned what I learned now 20 fucking years ago, I could have made so many different things. Like For me personally, I don't look back and regret any of that stuff. I needed it personally. My friggin' mom and shit was so crazy that I needed all this to wake me the fuck up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make up for all of it. Not to anyone else, to me. But self-sabotaging yourself. Sometimes I look back, one of the worst things I look at about some people, I get into names and people, is that they're so fucking special and they have so much friggin', they're different. Man, they're fucking 1 in a billion. But they self-sabotage themselves with alcohol and fuck up their shit. They could have so much in life. And it's not materialistic shit. It's being happy and being good at your career, being good at something, getting financial stability, not having to chase that paycheck, not having to rely on some fucking guy with money that you can't stand. None of this fucking shit, man. So that's what I did. I decided that it's fucking over. There's no more of this. I'm stopping, right? I'm gonna get stable. Real stable, like fucking on top of every fucking thing, right? And then I'm gonna go handle my business. But until I got straight and got right and got my life back together, I couldn't do any of that shit. So I took a lot of time for myself, right? I'm finally in a place where I'm stable, I'm happy. I'm not mad at anyone about any shit. I don't give a fuck, because I'm about to kill it. So if you're making mistakes, you're getting in trouble, you're doing stuff, something's fucking wrong. All right? You got to change that shit. You're self-sabotaging yourself because you don't think you have it deep down. You got to start really taking a look at yourself. And you got to get rid of these narcissistic people like your mom or family members. Really start listening to what they say to you. What's their cares? Why do they talk to you? Why do they spend time with you? You know, you can tell when it's genuine. And you have to get rid of these people because they're not good for you. Another reason you have to get rid of these types of people in your life is because you have to find yourself. If you're relying on people's advice all the time, especially horrible fucking skanky friends, you're relying on these people's answers, right? You'll never have your own answer. You'll never know where to turn truthfully. Everyone else that gives you advice in life is based off of their own wants. Even the best people, like, I'm a stand-up guy, I'm going to give you the best advice that I can. But even me, I'm not perfect. I'm not going to give you 100% advice that's perfect for you. Because I don't know everything about you and all your feelings and your needs. So you got to get rid of these people. I know it sucks, man, but you got to get rid of these people and really find out what you want, what you need, what's important with you. A good way to do it is start making a notation of what you have and what you need. What you want and what you need. What you have and what you need and what you want and what you need. All right? You get it down to the basic things of what you need, and you can't live without life. Start with those and then make those strong. Get yourself strong. Then you'll be ready to fucking kill it, man. Like I said, this year, I was reborn the beginning of this year. I'm fucking never going back to any of those old ways, my old bullshit. I'm just starting. Like, I don't think I'm better. I'm never going to think I'm better than myself, but better than anyone else. I don't think I'm better than anyone else. And I'm not anywhere near the man that I'm going to be. But I'm a whole different fucking thing, and I'm proud of myself. I'm proud that I can talk about my issues in front of people. I'm not scared of what they say. Like, I'm stronger than I've ever been in my life right now. I've never been anything like this, and I fucking thank God for being able to be the man that I am and to make the moves that I'm trying to make and the moves that I'm gonna make. So that's that right there. Me, personally, I've never been smarter. I've never been physically stronger. I've never had more fucking heart. More heart than I've had right now. And I thank God for being in the position that I'm in right now. So, Narcissist Nest. Got a couple other videos. Maybe I'll make them today, maybe not. I'm going to go to my little running spot that I got. I'm going to go do some pull-ups on kids' swings. That's my shit, my prison shit. So anyways, thanks. Bye.